Oh, it's today's grand final.
Absolutely huge from them. Two big games, two sweeps for them today. Calibratos just looking phenomenal heading on into those finals. Team Queso showed their first sign of life, but the first sign of life was just a little bit too late. Calibratos walk away with it in a quite a swift 3-0.
Scary, isn't it? As to how they are this business as usual. They're not breaking a sweat, and we have yet to really see them be tested. Just that one game, that one moment, it was a beautiful moment from JXCR, don't get me wrong. I mean, he really did clear up the entirety of the squad, but you've got to have those more consistently and get, most importantly, sets on the board. One game is not going to be good enough, and Team Kess are going to have to think a lot about how they come back around for next month.
Yeah, Adam made, but you can't. You know, coming, it's not ever going to be an easy matchup. That's the thing. But they got through the quarterfinals, made it to the semis, and that's some valuable points on the board for Team Queso this month.
Yeah, absolutely so. I mean, they're still very much in the running, nothing wrong there, but you know, when you look at the kind of level or the ceiling of this region, for me at the moment, Calibratos really are the ones to set it. And the stats to match. Kind of a fantastic game. 9 kills, 349 DPS. It's quite a high one, realistically, here, considering that it's the Bell pick that he's playing. 8 for Dino, 3 for Firecrow. I mean, there wasn't a lacking of kills necessarily on the side of Team Queso. JXCR did very well in the aggressor. But I think that's Stu pick for me as well. Again, didn't really bring too much to this kind of unit. I'd like to see a bit more where that brawler's concerned. And, you know, G is not necessarily designed to get the most kills, but you know, stay secure in the mid, bring in those all-important heals, land those magic hands, but there wasn't really much to be told about those moments. There was good control from Team Queso, but it was just quickly overthrown by Calibratos every single time.
Yeah, they had their moments, they really did. Like, CR played that call very well, and you know, they were attempting to make the lane swaps. They wanted to make the adaptations, but Calibratos were just 2 steps ahead of them. They swapped as soon as Team Queso swapped, and just continued to do that throughout that last game. And I think that's kind of the difference maker in that one, that Team Queso just couldn't keep up with them. Cowdog going to be the MVP once more. That man can play aggressive brawlers like no other, but obviously if he needs to be defensive, he can do that too.
He's just stealing the spotlight today, isn't he? In the quarterfinals and now in the semis as well. Will they go all the way today on the side of Calibratos to maybe give him the MVP in the grand finals too? We'll have to wait and see. Today is not done yet. We're about around the halfway mark now. One more semi-final still to come. And then make sure that you head over to events.brawlstars.com right this very moment. Get those early predictions in for the next match. We'll talk them through a little bit when we get back as well. But Trav, give us your thoughts before that break for anyone wanting to do so when it comes to this prediction.
I mean, I think for my eye, yeah, not really seem to be many bets, you know. Teams who can, teams who will this year, TPL to do it for me.
Well, you heard the predictions, so that's what you need to go and head over to do right this very moment. We're going to take a very short break here on the desk. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
The Snapdragon Pro Series Brawl Stars Championship, powered by Samsung Galaxy, is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, Monster Energy, and DHL. The Snapdragon Pro Series Brawl Stars Championship, powered by Samsung Galaxy, is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, Monster Energy, and DHL.
Hello and welcome back. Fantastic stuff out of our semi-finals. Another clock in, clock out type day here for our boys on the Calibratos side. Welcome back, Ark and Trav, brothers. Welcome back, me. It's me. And how are you guys doing after that set?
Very exciting stuff. I'm very curious to see where the Calibratos will go all the way, of course. FA mini pickers could definitely be the ones to stand in their way, or a huge upset potentially here about to reveal itself.
Very true. We've had some upsets already on the day, Trav. Do you think that influences our upset here, or?
No, I don't think so. They managed to take down Olympus squad, and you got to respect them for doing just that. 3-1 down there at the bottom of the quarterfinals. But FA Mini Peckers, they are one heck of a team. They just beat SK Kalelos 3-0, and SK Kalelos made it all the way to the finals in the previous month. So, do I think Reese can do it? Maybe 5% chance. Mini Peckers all the way for me.
Fantastic stuff. I mean, we'll look for it. We will see how Mini Peckers goes. And, I mean, right in front of us, we have our work cut out for us, Trav, or Arc too. I mean, Mini Peckers, I think, are a strong team. And I'm curious as to see how they're going to hit the ground running.
Yeah, to get opposition a bit, not Motep, Pekka, and Hubilia, when they get cooking, they get so aggressive. Very similar for me for this region, as many others that go on those kind of natures, with Max now coming into the forefront of the meta as well. I really think that that's abroad to consider highly for them, but I mean, they looked so fantastic earlier today. Again, with a very risky roster change, taking out Tuba, bringing in Hubilia from that Urbis New Picks roster. Didn't qualify this one as a result of those roster changes, I'd imagine. Clearly was chemistry that wasn't working along the way. Well, today, this roster really is working, and I'm excited for it. I'm keen to see who will come out on top, but my money is on FA Mini Peckers.
I mean, there's definitely some strong competition, Trav. Across the way, we've got Reese Do PL, and Ice Crow, Leleo Ninja, and Brabao. We saw on the B stream, and we got a chance to see some of what they bring to the table, and this is it. What can you say about our blue squad here?
I just have to question whether or not, they did win 3-1, and that's a very good scoreline to come into the semi-finals from. Obviously, the only thing better than that would be to 3-0, but they weren't capable of doing that against the Limpo squad. For me, I don't know if the opponents they had were enough to kind of prepare them for this matchup that they're going to have up next. They're going to need to bring absolutely everything they have and some more. It has to be the best they've ever played Brawl Stars if they even want a chance at making an upset against these titans of...
If you go wind up against one of these teams, and then you have to play against somebody whole speak, it feels like that other side. This is kind of the opposite experience. We have not somebody this strong just yet, and so Mini Peckers are certainly the team to beat in this matchup. RDP though, obviously they've gotten here, they are strong enough to make it through qualifiers, to make it through quarterfinals, and then to find themselves here at our semi-final. But if they want to make their way to Calabresos, they do have to take down Mini Peckers, and the Peckers and the guys have shown that they they were dominant, and they caused that upset that I referenced earlier on today, and certainly something that you've got to take note of if you're taking down teams like that. I think you're coming into this one spicy. Arc, I asked Trav how RDP was going to do coming into this. Do you think Mini Peckers has the momentum after their last set?
I think the momentum is there. One thing I will say that in regards to RDP is the fact that they did beat Mini Peckers in the qualifying stages. That's what made them qualify through the upper bracket. So it was 2-1 scoreline. It was in favor, of course, of Reese PL, but this is the monthly final. That's the difference there. And I think that the way that Mini Peckers are performing today is outstanding. They're going to have to do a great deal on the side of Reese PL to be able to really combat a lot of those aggressive ideas. But that scoreline still remains. That's what kept them in the upper bracket and forcing then FA Mini Peckers down into that lower bracket stage in the qualifiers.
That is a big piece of info. The fact that Reese wound up beating Mini Peckers in the qualifier. Trav, I agree with Arc that monthly finals is very different, but last statement before we say goodbye to Arc here, Trav, do you think that I lost it a little bit, my bad. We got Rustic Arcade in front of us. Arc, see you later, friend. We will see you on the flip side. My question really is just that Mini Peck is coming through with all of this action. RDP did take them down in qualifiers, and so does that change your feeling at all?
I don't necessarily think so. It's a lot shorter of a game in qualifiers. You know, best of 3 in comparison to that best of 5. There's less time to kind of gauge your opponent. And not that mini Packers should need to gauge their opponent. I don't think there's any excuse for them losing to, RDP in those qualifiers, because they should be coming out and they should be winning anyway. But at the end of the day, I think it does change it a little bit, but I don't think enough to change my opinion from who's going to be able to win this one.
All right, well, we'll take a look. I think so. It changes my opinion a little bit coming into this one, but however, the dominance that Mini Pekka showed us earlier changes my opinion more so. If we did not see the dominance from Mini Pekkas and Hubi as the addition onto this squad, I think that win in qualifiers might make me feel more on the side of the red team. But first pick Stu after Mini Pekkas kind of looked fantastic with it earlier on. I'm not sure who has had the best Stu. I think that might be the team waiting in the finals. But Mini Pekkas certainly have made a statement as well. So Reese looking for their selection after Colonel Ruffs. And as far as the Crow is concerned, we saw it once today, and it kind of failed miserably. What's your take on Rustic Arcade?
Crow, I don't know if that really is one of the picks I would go for. I feel like Crow fell off pretty hard as of recent in recent mets. It just hasn't been that brawler. Maybe it's just something to stop that aggression of Stu coming in. And obviously against an Amber as well, you get those shots, you get the slow off. It can be fine. It does have a hypercharge too, so it might have its moment. The winning moment, and I might just be completely to my words here. Personally, I wouldn't have gone for the Crow. I don't mind the roughs into the Stew. Obviously, going to be able to play some sandbags down, and that might be why Mini Pekkas went for the Amber. Just going to be switching those lanes, making sure that Amber's going to be able to burn straight through those sandbags if they're placed.
Big point here. Counter for the counter for the counter, right? That's how we draft in Brawl. Last pick here on the 3-4 turn, and it's the Meg. A lot of HP on this character, and so certainly a strong gem carrier if that's the direction you want to go for. We've seen Stu.
And the pull comes through, but the instant burn through from Motep, piercing everybody. Bravo falling low.
On Hubi, and the pull will reset. Hubi can't control it either. Pick the keeping the countdown. Mini Pekkas need to find aggression here. Number 11 on the side of RDP. That might have been the win condition for Mini Pekkas to find that 10th gem and match it, but they can't. Trav, they have to find a kill here. 3 seconds to count down. Knocked Meg out of the mech. Knocked them out of game 1.
Turnaround after turnaround, and RDP come out strong. They looked good, you know, kind of through the mid game. They fell off a little bit in the end and then brought it all the way back when they got their reset again. And to be honest, they played exceptionally well regardless. You know, they knew that that toolbox was going to be placed. They shot it down, then pulled the Meg through, got the gems, but instantly dropped them, but managed to kind of come full circle back around and grow those gems at the end once more. And this is...
I mean, this is great. Much couple of mistakes, and the bottom card was able to capitalize. Hubi on the left-hand side, still creating space for his team, but Brabao falling down as the assassin in the mech, able to find the kill.
Survive, but nobody else helping him on the team, and that's all the gems once more.
He didn't like it, but so far it has come through in the clutch. 2:20 on the clock, and 8 gems here for Reese, trying to keep their lead. Hubi dashing, but not really finding the damage here. Lele falls down to Motep, and now blue team have control of the mid. Brabao able to find the kill on the right hand. Amber, is it enough to push Mini Pekkas out of mid, as Reese has not moved from their 9 gems in a minute? But this middle space open for business? Question mark. Strong denial as the oil here makes it dangerous to walk forward.
Yeah, and I mean, the pull was wasted so easily there by Lele, easily baited out by the Mini Pekkas players. And although they've had some serious ups and downs in these first couple of games, they're still holding on strong. Brabao now pushing them out and gets that 10th gem, starts the count, still can be evened out from mid. And with a good flank coming in from Motep here, this might be dangerous. Hypercharge has to be activated, but the burn down still connects onto Ice Crow. Going to be able to be evened out here, but the jump comes in. The daggers return to him thanks to Hypercharge as well, and I think it's spawning on the opposing side. If Lele gets pulled down, that's going to be difficult, but the 10th gem is theirs, and the even out is still there. Brabao now still in an aggressive position, regardless of Pekka being back in mech.
Pekka's able to provide enough, not even damage, just presence, you know? A zillion HP on the mech and an extra life. 11th gem for Reese, but I'm not that excited because the 12th gem comes out here for the blue team. Still not that excited because we do have another gem popping out onto the red team's side. And just like that, we have a reset.
The pull used very defensively there as well. Motep gets taken down too, and that's a gem that they're going to need. 13th is off the side of the Mini Pekkas, and Reese 2PL are going to have theirs spawning on theirs next. Back in mech though is Pekka, and he's going to go forwards now. Brabao has the jump as well. Can get out, can go in, can help his team. But Motep coming around this right-hand side as a flank. Hubi's going to need a super here, needs to get some heals off of this. 4 seconds on the clock, and I just don't know if it's going to spawn in time. 2-1. Oh, it spawned so far. What? It said match over, but it carries on. 20 seconds on the clock, and the last one's going to spawn now, and it's on their side, but Brabao gets one off the other, but he's still going aggressive, but round the back is still Hubi.
He was standing right on the point. If he was anywhere else, it wouldn't have counted. Counting down from 7. Red team has everything in the pocket. Hubi barely alive, and the Crow's going to stop the heals. The Crow's going to stop the heals. The Crow stop the heals. That's game 1. That's round 1. That is set 1.
What a game, and you can see him heavily breathing there as we go to his camera. I mean, that was a massive game for RDP to win, taking the first set. And I mean, look at him, he does not look pleased. Every other time we've gone to his camera, he's been laughing, he's been smiling, he's been loving life. But this time, when you drop in the first set against a team like this, you need to turn around and do better.
I mean, again, gotta bring up what you said before, dude. This went Reese's way in qualies. This did go Reese's way in qualies. I am the king of saying things are different on the big stage. I understand that. But I mean, sometimes you just get a team's number. And, you know, at the end of the day, this Crow pick kind of allowed Reese to make sure that Hubi wasn't able to get a couple of shots, fall back and heal, get a couple of shots, fall back and heal, get a couple of shots, fall back and heal. It made the Stu kind of hard commit. And although Crow has not been very popular, very successful, very good, really, in recent memory, this might be the spot. I don't know if it's specific against Stu, but the idea that you're gonna look for poke and hide, look for poke and hide, Crow doesn't let you do that. And so 300 DPS coming out from Babao here. And I'll say with my chest, man, I criticize this Crow, and I think the Crow is a part of the victory for sure.
Oh, 100%. It helped out so massively. And I mean, the thing is, right, Pekka's got 9 kills. Do you want 9 kills as a gem carrier? You want to be the one who's safe. You want to be the one who's not dropping the gems, and that's exactly what he did. On multiple occasions, he's getting pulled. He's dropping the gems on opponents' sides. And yes, he's got 9 kills. Well done for getting 9 kills. But you don't want to be the aggressor as the gem carrier, you know?
I mean, that's the thing, man. Like, I say this all the time. It's not about the kill. It's not about the kills. Like, I don't care about that stuff. It's the stuff after the stuff. You got to be aware of the objective. The kills open up the space for you to step on the hot zone. The kills open up the space for you to go ahead and do damage to the safe. The kills open up the space for you to go ahead and grab the gems and the mid control. So you need those kills, but it's a means to an end. It simply doesn't matter if you have the 9 kills if you don't have 9+ gems. And that's what we saw here. You know, Motep was able to make use of the Ruffs matchup, sure, but real talk, Reese comes off on top, and RDP, you know, that was, I mentioned game 1, how they kind of took advantage of a mistake here and there by mini Pekkas, sure. Game 2, this is an even matchup, man, and I think Reese come through here, impressing me, straight up.
I mean, it was so back and forward, like, it's not complete domination from Reese, but they are the team on top at the moment. And Mini Pekkas just didn't seem like the same team that we saw in the quarterfinals. This is completely different. You know, if you go from beating, you know, one of your biggest rivals to kind of, you know, losing the first set of the next game, that's got to be a pretty hard hit mentally. But we are heading on to Safe Zone in Heist up next. I feel like we've seen quite this map today. Usually the block runs out or the safe goes down. So it's down to that ball and the first DPS win.
D'Angelo ends the hands for sure. Colette made it through the ban, didn't get picked, and both me and Ark were wildly surprised. So, do you expect to see the Colette or not?
I loved seeing the Colette, but honestly, as of recent, it really hasn't been picked that much. I feel, and I think it was the same with, you know, APAC and EMEA, the regions that have already gone past us through this monthly finals. Didn't see much Colette from them either, really, at least in my eyes. So maybe won't be seen again, as it does seem to be going back to that kind of sharpshooter, stay out the way, don't feed supers, take your moments when you get them. Whereas Colette's kind of just like, get super and sacrifice yourself to the safe.
Yeah, just kind of a super bot, pretty much. Ruffs off the rip. And usually lead commentary here, talking about how he doesn't really influence the draft whatsoever, so a sort of neutral pick overall. And there's that sharpshooter you were mentioning, Piper going to be able to, from a distance. The BB and the Eve also. Angelo.
At least some count. Now they do have those 2 picks, and Piper through mid, very solid. It's especially because if they do choose to go to a supply, it's the Piper. It's a good return to sender here. So if you hit a shot, you're speed, and they're gonna go down rather than it bounce back to you.
That's huge, actually. Good, really good point to bring up. That's largely why Nani is looked at as, counter's a big word, but that's why Nani is a strong sharpshooter to pick against Piper. Of course, some recent changes, also big potential for just easy kills, but the fact that return to sender deals with the homemade recipe is usually why you go into this direction. So leaving it at home here because of the safe zone is certainly a large note. 8-bit to follow up here. So, I mean, you've got 2 players boosting the damage out of Nani, and 8-bit obviously can truck the safe itself. So, I like the composition from Mini Pekkas, but I am holding my breath for this last choice out of Reese.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to have to be I was going to see something big, and I like a Carl. I like the aggression that it brings, but I'm just seeing a lack of DPS.
Yeah.
On the side of RDP here, Carly, we can get on it alone and bounce that axe off the wall onto the safe, off the wall onto the safe, and just keep on doing that. Then great, you're gonna get decent damage. If you can get a spin on safe, great, decent damage in a short amount of time. But it's not consistent.
Agreed. At the end of the day, though, you can also win the game by dealing 1% to the safe. So maybe that's obviously not the look, but maybe they're looking to play strong defense. Nobody is allowed to hit our safe. We're just going to kill them the entire time, and we'll get a couple of shots on goal. That might be the look here. coming out from RDP. But right away, we see them actually get first blood and then follow it up immediately with a death of their own. Brabao with an early kill, though, should bode well as, you know, Crow's just looking to get that super this entire time.
Yeah, nice quick flying hook off spawn from Ice Crow. Oh, the homemade recipe just goes away from Pekka. Leans to the left instead of going to the right where he was, and turret is there. Ficro just looking to get it down quite quick and doing a good job of bringing Hoobie really low. Piper will pinch in on that and take it down too. And all control so far, once more with RDP.
Here comes Carl, looks towards the safe, but turns against the... winds up losing the trade. Does find his way in, though, as a result of the space provided by the flying hook. And just like that, we find 78% left here for Mini Pekkas. Look at Nani. Up on the left-hand side. Hoobie gets a kill as well. And so Nani's able to find a little bit of damage, but Trav, I kind of emphasize a little bit of damage here, as 12% goes the way of the red team.
Jump up from Brabao there, and he does get a kill, but I feel like maybe sacrifices kind of a bit of control they had because of it. But Ice Crow does have a super, has the flying hook left. I think maybe one flying hook is all that he has. Oh, Pekka doing a great job, brings them both low. Can he get two? Just one is all that he'll take. But the Piper gets him low, power up here onto Hoobie, and he's going to have those extra credits rolling in to safe. Takes the 1% lead, make it about 4% lead now. Aggression coming through from Ice Crow should even this out.
There's the damage. Look at the big numbers coming out. 57 up top, but it's 52 down here. Brabao shows up as well. Super, see ya later. Game 1 in the pocket for Reese.
I mean, the hypercharge on safe, and this is the thing, I say before the game, oh, these things, you know, they usually don't happen. A Carl can't get DPS on safe, a Crow, not really that much DPS. And then the exact opposite happens. They get the Carl DPS, a Crow gets a free jump on safe, and it's just not things you expect on a map like Safe Zone. You expect that kind of slow, you know, poking at the safe, maybe getting 20-30% a game, and they finish it off nice and quick.
Trev, real quick, Ice Crow on this left-hand side busts the flying hook right away to pass over this water and find himself in the left lane and then just die. Is that good usage to quickly get to that lane and put yourself in position, or is that again, like, is that what you want to be doing?
I mean, honestly, it seems to be working, so I'm not going to complain it. I wouldn't, you know, maybe I'd pick my moment a little bit better when a bit of ammo has been used or something like that, but now up comes that TP, and that can deal a lot of damage up left, and they're just going to go straight for it. They're just going for the damage onto safe. A little bit of a base race, but it's working out well for them. Ice Cream needs to go down here, getting the damage on. Now, ahead.
Does that. Also on the losing. Steps up. Unload. They're not able to find a window. Unfortunate, as the deaths are staggered, and that allows these players to respawn and walk up and just prevent Mini Pekkas from all-out aggression. And so Reese still with the lead, still a minute to go, but Reese still with the lead, 56 versus 51.
It's like bots, triple power up here and damage on safe now raining through. As Hoobie gets some... Motep just holding this right side, keeping firm in this position. Hoobie's just going to go in. Down, yeah, but he's taking damage along with him. Now the Nanny Peep coming forward, makes its way just in between, wants a TP, wants to just delay time, finds it around the back. Lele's going to jump vertically as well. Now Motep pinching in. One shot is all that it's pretty much going to take, but they do survive on. 30 seconds is enough to get this damage on the opposing side.
Absolutely. We mentioned low DPS, and that might be the issue here for RDP, because even if they do have the window, the time is ticking down. Lele going low will that window. Brabao going down will close the window even more. And with Ice Crow falling down, the window is shut. And just like that, we're tied 1-1.
Finally answer back at that, I will say, because this has been looking all RDP. In my eyes, if they win that game, they might even swept Mini Pekkas at this point, because they've just been walking over them over and over again. We start to see something in from Mini Pekkas, and that is level of control. Keeping calm, keeping control, getting the damage on safe bit by bit, and not these sacrificial plays.
Trav, what was it? Was that the biggest difference? The lack of...
I mean, I they just kept those power big thing for them. Power-ups for him and 2 for his team. Just stay up and get the damage bit by bit, then I think that's the best way.
Gotta be with you. Use. Be snack. Left side. able to win here, and the 8-bit provided much damage to that safe. Doing it in the last hit. Pekka winds up getting the last hit. Pekka winds up getting the last hit. I try not to repeat. Pekka's repeating that over and over again, and a quarter done to the red box.
I made recipe was sent through the mid there. He's going to go down now. But an instant prediction from Lele there to get the shot onto him, and now Cole on safe. On safe too, but maybe it's just a bit of a sacrifice here from Iceberg to get damage. Does go down, but a great trade along with it as well. Throwing a power up back now, waiting for that nanny through the mid, because that's going to give you the power to really hit hard on these opponent brawlers.
I love that. This is sort of like 1 goal to 1 goal, right? 25% done, and Reese immediately answer back and get 25% themselves. 24, I know it'll be annoying. So like really smooth response from Reese, but this is not the response they want. 8-bit again lays into the safe. It's 64% available here for Reese. A minute worth of play and ton of time. And just a little bit separating our squads. Pekka trying to make that larger though, as him and Hubi step forward. 40 turns to 37. And just like that, mini Pekkas have control one more time.
3 power-ups again, and this is just the control that they're holding. Lele's going to get hit by that peep. Chooses to kind of over-aggress, go for the DP and let this control go through. Wants to keep that power-up as well, and Hubi in this position. Power-up and the damage coming through on safe. Got the booster now, and this should be a finish. Pekka's just going to focus down on it. Should see a flank around the right-hand side, and one more bullet connects. Mini Pekkas bring a step back and even things out, and the smile returns.
Very, very, very important. Get more water. Very important response here. And Trav, I want to give you a high five from across the pond here for your assertion as to what changed the most. Watching those trades, and so, you know, I talked about the concept of like scoring the goal. Right? You go in and play you on the, and that's a salient strategy that time, you know, all just care if I die because we did 30% damage, who cares? But when you're running the roughs and you're able to keep that damage up, that power up, that is a big change. They noticed it and they made that change. They started playing safer, Trav, and as a result, I think that is the one combat change that won them the set.
I mean, look how much damage that was in the first game, though, for RDP. They just got everything. The hypercharge crow on save, the Carl spin, the Carl damage bouncing off the walls. Everything that they needed to happen happened in the first game. And then from there, it was kind of just all downhill. And in this third game specifically, it was just all mini Pekkas, just getting all the damage, all the kills, and there you have it. I think that's a pretty good reflection of how the game went. 12, 15, 18. I mean, this is a composition that has the DPS from the 8-bit, and they're still just keeping control and getting the kills.
Yeah, I mean, Pekka has so many kills it could vote. Like, that's insane. Across the way, though, you're right. RDP Reese had so much damage when all the stars align. But you don't always have Exodia, man. And I think that was the problem here for Reese. They had an incredibly high execution-based composition where mini Pekkas just had to shoot the other guy, right? They didn't really need perfect things to show up. Pekka could be cute and find themselves behind enemy lines, sure. But at the end of the day, I think there was more that needed to perfectly line up for Reese than for mini Pekkas. And then once mini Pekkas made that adjustment, and we're like, hey, we're gonna try and keep our power-ups. That was the change they needed, and they find themselves now tied 1-1 big picture as we jump into our third set.
I mean, it's been so close so far, though. RDP in that first set, obviously securing it after the third game had finished, and mini Pekkas the same on the second set. It's 2-1, 2-1 pretty much now, and brings it to a 1-1 scoreline between these two teams. And I'll admit it, I was underestimating RDP massively. After, you know, taking a few glances at the B-Stream games against Olympus squad, I was like, okay, you know, they're good, but they're not mini Pekkas. And now I'm kind of watching this and I'm like, okay, well, this could actually be an upset, and they could head on to the finals if they play just like they did in that first set.
Very, very true. New Horizons knockout is our next destination. And while we get ready for our third set, I want to shout out our homie behind the scenes, Nighttime Clasher, for helping us with a lot of the stats. Always important to have the numbers behind the prowess, and that's what we've got behind us. So it takes a village, and our team is the best. Shout out to everybody involved. And so as we get jumping into knockout here, big changes as far as the draft is concerned. New Horizons. Again, I mentioned it every time. I'm not going to stop. The lack of respawn changes how you think of the game.
It really does. I mean, especially on a map like this where it's quite long range and you have to play things even slower. You know, maybe one of the throwers down one of these sides can help out pretty massively, but for the most part, you know, you're playing more ranged, mid-range brawlers. Probably a Crow, knowing this region, to be honest with you. At the moment, I wouldn't be too surprised if they do bring down a Crow again after the past couple of sets where I kind of just don't expect it, and it still pops up. Not got the highest win rates on many of these maps whatsoever, but you know, it still definitely can come down.
Crow had a 38% win rate on that last map and brought it home, so you got a legitimate laugh out of me on that. The ire, probably Crow, like. But I'm here with you, man. I'm here with you. It is cool to see the different dojos bring out their different picks. Charlie and Gene selected first for the team on the right-hand side. Byron first overall. And yeah, Miko is really the character that I always think of when it comes to knockout modes, because you don't have to deal. The kit ban I want to bring up though. So the goal of knockout is to kill all 3 members. Kit makes sure that there's only 2 members on the field, so drastically changes the way you got to play the game. I think this is the turbo important ban, so very, very good to see the kit ban. The kit Buster combo is usually what you see, but Buster by himself absolutely makes it work. Stand up in front and just deny all of the opposition damage. GG. So definitely got to look at the Buster here if you're Reese do PL.
Yeah, I mean, I have to, you know, mention that kit ban as well, because it turns into a throw when you're jumping on someone's back, and that is a big thing on this map. You know, I mentioned even before we saw the bans, before we saw the draft, throwers, you know, they can be used here. You can see a Sprout, Larry and Laurie, and obviously that being banned as well. So to be able to have the versatility of not being a thrower sometimes is very, very good. But they are actually going to bring in the tick, and that is the thrower of their choice. Mini Peckers roll that on in, and honestly, it might just be sitting with a Buster for the majority of the time, having that protection.
Yeah, just sit behind. You know, you obviously don't have a lot of HP on tick, but you create such a large area of denial that you can't walk on the minefield. And Mortis is the type of character that I look for in the knockout. You know, I talk about the big difference between lack of respawn, and Mortis is one of those guys that come up. Edgar also. Note the ban. And so Mortis dives you and you punish him after the respawn. Well, you can't punish him, LOL. So Mortis, last pick here. You're gonna get Gene pulled and just grave dug. I like this competition from Reese, I'm not gonna lie. Buster usually draws my eyes, but I like this comp.
Yeah, and an 100% win rate on Mortis as well, bear in mind. So I am looking forward to seeing if it can pull this off. But obviously Buster protecting the tick is what we expect. Going to be getting the super off, standing around his teammates too. So kind of bunching up is the name of the game for this Mini Peckers comp. But it could also be a bit of an issue as well if you caught in a bit of a, you know, if Charlie gets a super on you, blocks you off, and then a Mortis comes in and sweeps you all up, then it's not going to be the easiest of things.
The Bravo already cut down to 5%, if not lower HP, has to go hide. And Ice Crow also on the defensive. Here comes the Tick Head, and is dealing some damage, but able to dance around it. Nice movement coming out from Reese. Now they want to get aggressive here. It's Mortis inching forward. I figured they'd wait for the gas, but it looks like they're pushing the enemy down right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, if he can get another ticket, it's going to be huge for this late game. Splash available from Pekka now as well. Once they build up these supers, there it is as well. They're surely going to start pushing out. Splash comes in, just avoidable. Gas is going to come around nonetheless. Heads there as well. Spider's going to protect Ice Crow for a little bit of time, but he's not going to survive any longer when Motep sees him. Round 1 goes Mini Pekka's way.
Right there, we saw the method to the madness, right? Buster pops up the shield, and Mortis doesn't care and just dives past it, but Mini Pekka still kills. So, oh well. But I like the strategy. Round 1 for Mini Peckers. That said, it wasn't overwhelming. I think we got a game here.
We really do. The pull is available, but Tickhead should be able to tank that one out if it does come towards him. Without just pinning them in this corner, waiting for the opportune moment to hit that. But, you know, even if he pulls a Buster, then he's got a Mortis there with him. It's not going to be the most DPS to go along with it. Charlie is the one backing him up now, and if he gets the connection onto Pekka, it's going to be very difficult for him to get out there alive. Life charge is there for Hubi as well on this tick, so that's going to be a dangerous thing for the Mortis to see. Same for the Crow. This movement speed, this health on the head's going to be absolutely huge for them. But now we see the pull come in. Motep's going to go down, but there's the head. Then that gets the kill. Another one as well. Bow's going to go down on all of them. Just falls so fast. Honestly, didn't even see what happened over the right-hand side because of the domination from a tick of what Brawlers on the left.
I mean, that's oh man, that is prowess. Mini Pekka's coming through and just dealing. I don't know if I use the word counter. This is really clean of the selection here. When you look at how Buster wants to use that montage, and despite the selection, it doesn't work out. I like the performance coming out of Mini Pekka's. In fact, Lele gets excited and just tosses their life away like that. Too soon, Executus. Now the team's got to fight 2v1. You're just looking for supercharge for round 2, I guess, man.
I mean, Motep's not even going to allow that. Just walking him down with that shield up there. And I mean, clearly changing the game plan. Mortis might just wanted some of that supercharge so he can just go in against a tick and go in against a Buster and win that matchup. But at the same time, it didn't really work out and maybe connected 3 shots, so not the closest as well. Ice Row's going to go down, sorry, on the top side, and Rabao, the only one left. Doesn't really want to feed too many supers. Buster's going to get his Pekka, the only one he wants is now, and not going to get it. The other 2 of them looking pretty good for a Mortis attack.
You know, there's something to be said about catching your enemy sleeping, and so I'm not going to make full fun of the Mortis play there, but let's just say it didn't work out, and let's move on. All right, round 1 still for Mini Pekkas. And Lele here, trying to push up. Not being sneaky about it, by the way. Just walking. Pekka mid, Motep and Hubi left side, and a much slower pace of the game this time around.
Well, all 3 of the supers here. I'm not sure how RDP are going to be able to get this win back. All 3 of them just stood together waiting for this Mortis to come aggressive. Splash there, but no connection from the tick shots to be able to finish that one off. Lele now the one backing off after a Byron shot connects with them. He hasn't really got the backing of his team, but honestly, it doesn't need it because he's hitting every single shot.
You know, we have seen 3 rounds so far, and I have not heard either of us mention Charlie. She is just not an impact in this matchup either. One player goes down, it's the Gene. The second player goes down, it's the Mortis. The third player goes down, it's the Charlie. And that's going to be the set here as well. Go get some more water, my man. You have earned it. Mini Pekka's here. Take care of business. And they find themselves 2 up versus 1.
I mean, that was brutal. That was so brutal. I'm looking forward to seeing these stats because maybe we saw 1 death for the side of Mini Pekkas in the entire 4 rounds. Maybe a little bit more, but I'm honestly not too sure if they got, you know, any more than 1, even 0 kills for the side of RDP there. So definitely night and day difference for Mini Pekkas, and 100% down to draft. Like, there was no real things that RDP could do there to be able to bring that one back. They just waited for the opportune moment, and Mini never gave them the moment.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I see the Mortis thought, right? Like, montage, big deal, so just dive past it. But I don't think the gameplay was there to surround it. And again, Charlie has just fallen so hard, and I don't think she had a large impact in this matchup whatsoever.
Oh, 100%. 100% did nothing. I mean, yeah, it did something. It got 1 kill, but I mean, 53 DPS. Like, come on. Buster, who sat there the entire game, got more DPS than you're like. That's a bit worrying in my eyes, but Lele got 1 kill as well, so 2 kills overall for RDP, whereas Tick and Pekka alone got a combined 10, with Motep 11. So quite the difference between the 2 teams here. Complete drafted. Mortis, not the pick that they wanted, but did, you know, maybe saw something, maybe thought they could do something, but it just didn't pay off at all.
Yeah, a little bit rough, but luckily for them and their fans, not an elimination match. Reese do wind up winning earlier. Do find them still in it. Mini Pekka's, of course, 1 set away from those grand finals here, and I definitely need to see a change in the draft strategy next time around. But you know, it's hard for me, especially like when you look at the outright lack of dominance, let's say, how evenly matched these 2 teams were in set 1 and set 2. I have to look at this one as, you know, again, if I'm putting on the coach hat, this is one where it's like, all right, boys, we tried it, didn't work, shut up, move on. In America, we say quarterback mentality. You got to just forget what happened last play. Like, that's what I'm feeling here for Reese. I think that was a really rough one, as you said, Trav. But I also think they're allowed to forget that because of how sets 1 and 2 went.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard to forget, though, bear in mind. Like, I'm not sure you can really just kind of play that set and be like, oh, all good, we're fine. Because they're really not. And Minipekka's going to have the momentum going in now, and about as much momentum as you can get. I think they probably could have won that set with their eyes closed, to be honest with you. Just using game sound to see when Immortus is dashing in and spam auto him, and they probably would have still won that set. So, you know, nothing bad for how they played. But the draft just 100% going the way of Minipekka's there. So they've got to change something in that drafting process, because it's been Crow, and now Mortis. And Crow, yeah, made it paid off in the first one, but not the second, and Mortis definitely didn't pay off in the third.
Also, I feel like Crow is dynamic. Like, Crow brings that, like, melee assassin nonsense that Mortis does, but the poison is a large part of why the Crow was interesting, you know? Like, we've seen, especially with Stu play, coming in and out, not allowed to hokey poke if you're poisoned. And so I think that is a big difference between what Mortis brings and what the Crow brings. So, Brawl Ball, Goalkeeper's Dream, the most ironically named map on the planet. We'll see how this one jumps in. As I mentioned American football before, so I have to mention that this is the real football, right, Trav?
Yep. None of that American football rubbish. We don't talk about that around Brits. Sorry to tell you, but it's been improved a little bit for the goalkeeper. Maybe defender's dream now. There's a few walls just a bit further on from that goal mouth now that did get added in. So it makes it a bit more compact in the mid. Gives you somewhere to hide around about where that goal is. So those extra couple of walls definitely helping defenders. Never mind the goalkeepers. Max going to be the first pick coming in there from Minipekkas, and I like it. We've seen it a lot. Charlie back again. Didn't do much in the last one, but honestly, it's gonna be fine. It'll be good.
Charlie picked again. Eager to see her make an impact here, because I've noted it once, twice in the last match. I really just drove it home how she didn't really do much. And then the Nita, on the other hand, this is the opposite. Nita was my first favorite brawler. Unrelated to the Shiba Nita skin, just kidding. But her changes and the change to the Big Bear, I think, is a big deal. Brucey is a big deal, providing a shield for players to walk up the field with. And we saw it be a part of a victory last time around. I'm eager to see how it works out here. Sandy on the other side, he is much more easy to see why Sandy is good, right? Especially with the change to the super with the hypercharge. Big deal. Sandy picked here. Unsurprised, and should be a powerful brawler.
I will say that this Max Sandy makes me scared for RDP, and especially with a Byron back in as well, get some heals along the way. Yeah, Nita's going to be good. The Hypercharge Bear is unreal. It'll push pretty much any brawler back. Charlie, very good brawler as well, but a Max Sandy combo has been the combo for Brawl Stars. If you look back to when Sandy was released, those have been paired together that make them.
What is it about what's going fast in the invisible zone? Or is it after the stun, or?
I mean, the thing is, you kind of just hypercharge with the Sandy and win. Like, it mutes them.
That's my thought.
And you have the speed along with it as well. Honestly, mutes them for a small amount of time, but the speed that comes along with it, and then max speed on top of that as well to be able to earn you super, makes it unreal. Hyper going to be working to try to keep them at a range, but going to be pretty much awful when the speed does come.
Yeah. So some old school classics here with the Max and the Sandy, and some new school stuff with the Nita and the Charlie. Nita only selected 3 times, but she's won twice. And like we said, the change to Bruce, I think, a very, very big deal. I want to point out the Crow ban, by the way. Minipekka's banning the Crow. Do you like it?
I'm glad, to be honest with you. Like, on any of the maps we've seen, this is the one I would have expected to come on, so I'm quite glad that it was banned out at the end of the day. We've seen enough of that throughout this series, so excited to see something else.
Well, eager to see if Charlie can make an impact here, like I said. Ice Crow, though, the first one, trades out as Hoobie's able to find an answer as well. And there's a kill from Charlie, but it's answered back again. So less about the brawler and more about the teamwork, making the dream work, as many players are the ones to themselves. But again, staggered kills means much ado about nothing.
Well, there's the speed, and this should kind of activate something. Sweet Dream's available as well, but the bear is there. Bruce going to be rolling in now, and Fofo on with his pass to the mid, super shot wide open, but the face shift should be able to save it, just about gets there. Pekka sprinting across the goal to make that save. Sweet Dreams on the right hand side, and Ice Cream just searching for this super that'll get them out of this defensive position.
Really good play there with the phase shift, and you notice, like, obviously it didn't lead to a goal, but look how much work Bruce did on that right side. Right laner just had to walk away. So smooth moves there, smoother moves coming out from Mini Pekkas as, oh no, Lele's jump back opens the door, and with that wall break, a shot on goal was available, but strong defensive stop there. And Hubie getting one for the road, an important kill there to prevent Reese from really going hard.
Lele getting hit now, losing this Byron versus Piper matchup is not something you see every day. There's the gadget as well to get the finish off now, and there should just be a push between Pekka and Hubie to get down Brabau back in this spawn. But Ice Crow's here, he's got his hypercharge too, but now the shots come through from Sandy. Hypercharge super there as well. Now they're just trading things out. The speed from Max, 2 hypercharge everywhere. 3 hypercharges used at once. Lele's going to go down, but in the end, it's RDP who are the ones on top.
Button for button here. And Mini Pekka's on the defensive, I suppose, but really not really. All even. Goalkeeper's dream about to go into overtime. Tell me if you can tell the difference. 20 seconds or less on the clock. And Mini Pekkas have the ball on their side, Trav.
Yeah, well, we need a speed, we need a Sandy super, we need something for them now, and they get the super, but now the hypercharge comes forward. If he gets super and a cocoon someone, it's going to be huge for them, and yet to grasp it, and a hypercharge wasted by Brabau now, and moving forwards in this Sandy super. No Sweet Dreams there to shut someone down in the goal mouth, but a speed will do just the same thing. There it is now, provides it to the Byron who wants the shot on the Viper, who wants the kill. Homie recipe missed because of the speed from Pekka, but now, still shots coming through. Motep going to be the big damage dealer in this spot to get the piercing damage.
Lele's finding some shots, but spending more time dodging, which is probably the right play. Does find the kill here, and now with Bruce, look at this, they have a fourth brawler, just walking up the field. Motep can't deal, but it takes enough time that Mini Pekkas get their third teammate to respawn. Now on the other side, Lele still finds the kill, Brabau does as well. Pekka holds the ball, but he can't hold them all. That's the goal, that's the game. Nice play here from Reese, making it all the way to overtime, and Brabau finishing it off.
I mean, that was really nice play from RDP there. I mean, they just waited it out, they waited for their moment, and they got their moment in the end. A few hypercharges along the way as well, but Anita was the one to force it in at the end. Just couldn't really get their moment. They had a sandstorm heading into just before overtime and used it to really no avail, but now this is huge aggression coming through from RDP. They want to go faster than last time. Going for the jump forwards again, gets the ball, can't find the goal. Now the Spiders coming forward as well. Sandy needs the shot on Pekka. Goalkeeper again, but this time walks onto the goal line and the ball fumbles out his hands straight into the grasp of Ice Crow.
I mean, this is the mix-up. You do some slow play and then immediately some fast play next game. Mini Pekkas don't know what to deal with. And all of a sudden, it's the same song again. Game 2, we're going to a set 5.
I mean, that was the RDP we've been wanting to see since set 1. Great bounce back from them. And this second game, all RDP, no Mini Pekkas whatsoever. And I mean, he is laser focused and ready to head on to set number 5. We're seeing some smiles on the faces of RDP now. Ones with all of the momentum holding in their hands at the moment. And this is Shooting Star is going to be the decider.
That was super fun. Am I allowed to say that? That was just a great matchup, man. I really enjoyed that. We got to see some of the intricacies here as we run the tape back real quick. We got to see some of that interaction that we were talking about. You know, looking at how the Sandy Super is going to open things up and how Max and Byron are going to be able to kind of fight into it. But ultimately, raw damage from Piper and the Bruce Bear was a big deal. The Bruce Bear was a big deal of that first victory, allowing the team to play it slow and then walk up. And then Piper, I think what happened there, Trav, was Piper wound up getting the kill and it opened up the map and they were like, oh, let's try that at the beginning of the game. And we just saw that, man. Really cool stuff out of Reese.
Yeah, I mean, we saw some great goalkeeping there from Pekka, but in the end couldn't stop that last goal too much. in his face, but 393 for the side of RDP and 432. Not really able to match what the Piper was bringing to the table for the side of FA Mini Packers. Yes, the Byron's got some ranges, got some heals, but we didn't see enough max speeds. We didn't see, any Sweet Dream stuns in the goal mouth, which is what gets Sandy the goals. It's what would have won Mini Packers the games, but he was too busy using them to defend himself against that Nita, who was constantly finding himself within range.
Huge point. Huge point. That the Sweet Dreams is I mean, that's largely like the super allows you to kind of move forward and gain map control, but again, we saw those being used defensively on the right side often, but it's that stun that really creates these windows of opportunities, and being forced to use them defensively is a really good point to note for sure. And so a smooth play here from Reese, and again, I want to just highlight the numbers here. 15% movement speed and 20% health for the Bruce Bear from Nita. And if that bear is moving 15% slower, you can't follow it up the brawl ball field. If it's 20% less health, it's harder to expect it to be a fourth brawler as a tank for you. It's kind of like a knockoff montage in a way, where it's just blocking all the shots and you're able to walk up, and that really changes how we have to look at brawl ball and Nita in general, who already was kind of, we were smelling Nita a little bit on Brawl Ball, but I think this change really solidifies her as a top pick, or towards the top at least.
Yeah, we've seen it a few times. That's the thing. We've seen it a few times, and just like the hypercharge catapults it so far into that meta on that map. A shooting star bounty, as I mentioned, is going to be the decider. Bit of a ranged affair now. We've seen how well that guy can play on Piper. I mean, he can play Piper. If he brings that kind of gameplay to bounty on shooting star with his sharpshooters, they're going to be just fine.
Agreed. Swamp of Love. All right. I think when it comes, I always have to comment on the environments. I think our team does a knockout job. As we see Angelo like the environment so much he wants to take a second lap. Him and his two friends. What do you think those mosquitoes are named?
That is beyond me. I wish I knew. I really do wish I knew though.
We'll see how it works out. Angelo expected banned. Yup. Leon coming through. So more assassin-minded gameplay from Reese. Do you like it?
No. I really don't. I haven't seen Leon in so long in competitive. To see it coming as a first pick. I mean, on Shooting Star, it used to be one of the go-tos. It really did. But as of recent, it really hasn't been seen that much. Max on the other side is much more my speed and less sharpshooters as of recent. You can see that Angelo, the Nanny, and the Piper in the mid, most banned brawlers, and well, 2 out of the 3 of them are banned. Nanny's still available, but if you're running that into a Max or something, you're going to be finding it quite hard to hit some brawlers.
That Max. I mean, at the same time, I don't know that you let the Max discourage you. I think at this level of play, you kind of just have to hit your shots, But certainly something to think about. Max being paired up with Byron. So again, have we seen 100% Byron presence today? Or at least in this set? So much Byron.
We have seen a lot of Byron, I will say. And I mean, that's thanks to all the changes that he got. It really did make him that little bit better. But Charlie's going to come in next as well. Obviously, going to be able to shut down some more of these aggressive routes, which clearly Mini Packers are a team who just want to go aggressive. We've seen the Max multiple times. Gray.
This makes sense. I get it. Gray will enable the Leon.
That is true, but also the thing for me is, right, yes, Leon can go forwards, it can TP, but it's not a tank. When you're TPing, they know you're TPing the majority of the time, and they're going to be there ready for you, and you don't have the HP of a tank. It's going to be really difficult. I understand it's going to move the Leon forwards. If he's got an invis or something like that, it might be able to work. But Gray alone, I just don't see it.
I mean, it's low DPS. I think they're expecting some decent DPS out of the obviously the Leon, but also out of the Charlie. Maybe that can make up for it here and there. And the Meg, I think, is a good answer to it. Like you can TP onto our Meg. That's cool. Do you want to do that? You know what I mean? So I like Mini Packers' draft, and I like it in and of itself, and I like it as a response to Reese. That said, I'm not running Reese off just yet. I think that there's a method to their madness. I see how they got to where they're at, Trav. Don't know if I like it, but also I've been surprised by this team a couple of times already in this set alone. So maybe it's time to take a gander at how it all works out as we jump on in here. And Meg is getting really aggressive, immediately knocked out. Motep finishes it off from the right-hand side. Pekka finds the kill on the left as well. And Leon answers back and drops the lollipop, though didn't need to.
I'm getting some major deja vu from the knockout set. I just feel like they've just come themselves out of this game at this point. And the start definitely seemed that way, and it seems to be going that way once more. As the TP is available now from Lele, but where is he going to use it? Ooh, goes for the TP, like Gene Pull-esque kind of play. Get the walking cane pull and then TP back. The lollipop drop is going to go back as well, and it is 8-5, so still a lead regardless of that beautiful play from Reese.
That's some cute tech. I remember the first time I'm seeing that. I think it was Bobby and NA that wound up doing a whole bunch of that, and so really, really smart stuff coming out. Unfortunately, not very successful here. 15-5. Minipek is with the upper hand. The upper fist, the upper foot, the upper card. They are winning this one. And Reese seems to just be stuck behind.
Hypercharge for Pekka is going to be a huge thing, but they don't need to aggress. The tennis stars ahead. Team White would put Reese ahead, but what's the likelihood of them bringing out down all three of these brawlers? A hypercharge ready for Leon as well, and that is going to make him a bit better. It can really help, especially paired with Invisa Heal. Continue shooting, continue healing, stay in those aggressive positions. But I'm surely going to see a little hypercharge speed from Pekka coming in now, and he does just that. TP comes in, instantly shut down, but now they've got a little cocoon going on as well. Ice Crow gonna just about get taken down, and Brabau in the spawn. The last one to go down will seal their fate. Match point for Mini Packers.
I see the X's and O's, man. I really see what Reese is trying to do here, right? You wait till the end, and then you get the all-in. You cocoon one guy, you Leon the other guy, and then you just win the 3v1. Well, you got to do the last part of that, Trav. You got to win the 3v1. And unfortunately for Reese and their fans, that did not happen. They get another shot, though. And like I said, I see the playbook, and I respect it. But you got to get there. And if Minipeka stays aggressive, Reese, this is a hard comp and a hard strat to pull off on the back foot.
Yeah, nice little toolbox there from Hoobie to keep him in the mech, and that's going to be a huge thing going forwards, but they don't have the lead this time. Big difference to in the previous game where they were just letting the opponents run into them and punishing them for doing that. Now they're the ones who've got to go forwards because they don't have this blue star. But with the Meg, they should be able to do just that, tank a lot of the damage and move forwards. Cocoon already available for Ice Crow to shut down some aggression when it comes.
Meg is just so tanky. Cocooned her. And trying to find the damage, knocks her out of the mech. And here comes Gray with the TP forward. Leon so far away. Leon's got to catch up. And he shows up, but it's far too little, far too late. The ants go marching one by one, and the other team is saying hurrah, hurrah. A minute on the clock, and it's still 5-3, so it's a tight one here, Trav. But that play does not bode well.
Double TP onto the Meg there was a really nice play, but still survived with the heals from the Byron, just going so well right now. Pekka finding some shots and scouting them out in this lollipop drop, and Leon Invis not really doing too much there. Maybe just defending this nicely. Forced TP away from Lele, and that's a good kill from Motep. Walking Cane comes forward, but he's just sealing his own fate. Too much damage coming forward. Actually, they don't get him, but they get Ice Crow instead. And this is a 6-star lead now, and aggression continues from Minipek instead of a retreat.
20 seconds on the clock, 9-3. Read our stars, and Reese now on the aggression. Ice Crow barely alive. Teammates are barely alive as well. Nobody has any HP to stand on. And we count down from 10. This might be Minipeka's heading to the grand finals. Reese have to answer. Ice Crow goes down alongside the team. That's that. And the Minipekas are headed to the grand finals.
I mean, I'm sad. I'm really sad for RDB because they played so well. But 2 of the 3 sets they lost, they couldn't win going into them because of the draft that provided themselves. And I think their gameplay is genuinely really good. They've beaten this team in qualifiers, they've almost beaten them now, but they've put themselves out of the competition in the technical phase beforehand. You've got to get the draft right if you want a chance in the game, and they've got it wrong twice, and it's cost them the series, I should say.
Yeah, I agree. I do want to bring up that it's not like they showed up with 3 bottom brawlers that don't make any sense, right? Like there is an in-between between outright failing the draft and coming to school with the wrong notebook. And I see the strategy coming out from Reese, not just this time, but also the last time with the Mortis. I see like what they're cooking. Unfortunately, I'm not eating it because it's not working out. But there's a method to this madness. And if anything, Trav, that gives me faith for this team in the future because it shows to me that they're doing some thinking. They might be overthinking it. They might be getting too smart for the classroom. But at the same time, they're not just like, why are you picking Frank here, right? Like that's not happening. And so there is some method to the madness. When I see teams fail in the draft, usually it looks worse than this, or I can't figure out the comp plan. But there was an identifiable win con both here and the last time, and I think that I have faith for this team in the future. The more they play on this stage, the more they'll start to understand the level of competition, the more they get here. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, not enough to bring it home here tonight.
I do get what you're saying. That's the thing. I know they've got the win conditions, but they just need the better win conditions that are still on the table. MVP is going to be Pekka, though, and I think well deserved. This man is a real big force in this region. Gets an MVP under his belt, just moves his team on to the grand finals, and 3-2 close. And you kind of expect this team to be doing more against a team like this, and it does make me a bit worried for the grand final matchup.
At the same time, it might just be one team that has their number. Sometimes we see that, and Mini Pekkas just might have a little bit of extra, whether it's info or otherwise. They've got their card. Either way, Pekkas are the ones that have the card to the grand finals. Mini Pekkas versus Calabresos coming up after this.
The Snapdragon Pro Series Brawl Stars Championship, powered by Samsung Galaxy, is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, Monster Energy, and DHL.
Sorry, Paula. Maybe we can try again.
It's happening!
What the? Yeah, so I was thinking at least chicken, and then chicken, and then...
I want barbarian. Barbarian.
Sure, that works. Oh, hey, look at this. The buttons are here. We should maybe...
Take it easy.
No.
Let's take it easy.
Oh, okay. Okay. Where were we? Chicken,
Barbarian.
barbarian.
Come on, Ilka, you can do it! Yes, do it! Press it! No, not that one! Yes! Squad Busters is going global!
Welcome back to South America, the BSC, SPS, and the G Grand Finals. It's F-Dot, Stark, and it's Trav, and we have a matchup in front of us. Mini Pekkas versus Calabresos. First, I want to shout out Squad Busters, going global pretty soon, and pre-register. What they didn't note there was the more people that pre-register, the more stuff we get, not just in Squad Busters, but in Brawl Stars arc. And that's, I'm eating.
I'm looking forward to it massively. So 29th of May is that date. Put it in your calendars and get registered right now. It's such a fun game, honestly. And like, I've been having a ton of fun with it. It's such a blast. A bit of a refreshing takeaway from Brawl. Some similar control styles, but with a ton of modifiers thrown in. It's just pure chaos. You're going to love it.
Trav, how do you feel about chaos?
I love a bit of chaos, to be honest with you. That's the thing. Like, give me some of those multipliers. Listen, I've been watching Ark play, and how much this guy loves it. Generally, you should just go and watch Ark, and you'll want to download this game because the amount of fun this man has is just unreal.
The true ambassador for the game. But if you want to talk about chaos, production, roll that bracket real quick, because this has been a chaotic day. We saw an upset from Mini Pekkas taking down SK Kalalasis, and then we almost, listen, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, and this is Brawl Stars, and so Mini Pekkas are in the grand finals, but they almost, Ark, fell down to RDP, Reese Do PL.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't the smoothest of journeys for them here today. I was expecting to see them having a bit more of a strong performance in that semi-finals, but hey, it's a better performance than it was from last month. They went out in the semi-finals to CVD, of course, and now in the grand finals. But I'm just a bit worried for them because honestly, Calibrators haven't really skipped a beat. The ones that they dropped was by running, Jackie and Shooting Star up against Mawakos earlier today, and I think that was a bit of an ego pick. I think they kind of gave over a bit of a simple set there, and since then they haven't dropped a beat. I mean, Team Kessel was a bit of a walkover in that sense, and now, for me, looking the stronger in this series going into that matchup.
I mean, straight up and down, Calabresos are the team that took last month, and guess who I have taken this month as well, boys? I have Calabresos taking this one as well. Trav, it's funny. I'm going to peel behind the curtain. Before we went live, we were I was making fun of you for the Mini Pekkas pick. Straight up and down, I was like, how you doing that? You got us.
Listen, it's even. I'm not going to boast. I'm not going to boast about it. I'm not going to boast because you guys go on that I didn't get, and looking back,
every region.
Listen, I just said I'm not going to boast. I'm not going to boast about it. He's given me the opportunity to boast, and I'm gonna happily
hit the high ground.
Happily say no, because honestly,
modest
you guys have done well. You got that other prediction right, and
Thanks,
then those guys, they almost beat Mini Pekkas themselves. So.
There it is.
Stay humble.
Look at that. Stay humble. Somewhere between humble and heck no. But we've got Calabresos versus the Mini Pekkas here for our grand finals, and we are set up for a good one. Carodog has been the spotlight player, but Edinho and Firecrow have been so impactful, Ark. They are so important to how this Calabresos team works out, and the way all three of them fall in line is it's a symphony of brawl.
It really is. It is pinpoint precision, it's aggression, it's all those things combined, and looking at the way they position themselves and work together as a unit, it's really quite a joy to witness. I've got to say as well, though, Firecrow going to be going up against his former teammates now, with Motep and Pekka being on the opposition side, and we haven't really seen that at all this year yet. So, I mean, they're on opposite sides of the bracket last month, so I feel like that could definitely make a difference here. When you know your previous teammates, and you know their tendencies, their strengths, their weaknesses, they can be exploited, but definitely some memories to go along with it.
Motep, Hubi, and Pekka on the other side. How Tufa faced with Hubi, and large shoes to fill for sure. But Hubi not only stepped up, but has really performed extraordinarily, and has been a big part of what has gotten this team to the grand finals.
Yeah. He was a very aggressive. He just seems like they've been piece that FA Mini Pekkas needed, because he genuinely has taken up that aggressive role so well. He was playing the Stu, he was playing the Meg, he's playing these brawlers that you able to play well, to excel in monthly finals, and that is exactly what he did. And I think this is a big plus for Mini Pekkas. After the last game, I started to doubt them. But I still think they have a chance in this final. Calabresos, they only dropped one set, and as Ark said, they played Jackie. I looked on Twitter, and he said it was a mispick. He didn't even mean to pick it. I don't know if that's just, see, that's the thing. I don't know if that's just saying that because, as Ark said, it was a bit of an ego pick. But he posted and said that it was a mispick. So I'm like, I don't know whether I trust that or not, but they could have been 3-0-3-0.
So it's one of those things where, like, if we lose, it's a mispick. Yeah. If we win, it's a clown emoji. I see. I see what you're putting out there, and I would be hard pressed to disagree. But Trav, we'll see you later after the grand finals. Expecting to high five after this one, because I think it's going to be a good matchup. As we said, you know, I think what Trav brought up earlier, Ark, is a big deal. How, listen, we didn't expect Mini Pekkas to have that much trouble with Reese Dopiel. However, they were so dominant earlier on in the bracket that I feel like that might be just one individual team. And so as we jump into our competition here, Colt will start the composition for Mini Pekkas with Piper across the way.
Well, I think for me, Colt's a great starting hand. Certainly so on this map. Surprised to have not seen it a bit more today, in fact, even. Piper, again, very South American by nature. I think the band's being very important here. The Chuck band out here by every Mini Pekkas, but again, they had the first pick, so a bit of a risk. They could have actually been able to secure it for themselves, so they left it open. Clearly wanted to secure that Colt for themselves regardless. Carl ban, it's very South American. I'm not necessarily feeling like Carl is the worthy ban here. I still feel like Colette is that ban, but hey, this region doesn't seem to bother with Colette, which is mind-blowing to me. Gonna follow up here now, the second pick on the side of Calabresos. Certainly the Bell's a safe one and can get some great value. Got some value for them early today already in their matchup versus Team Kissel in this very place, but I think the Angelo is a must ban. Yeah, I mean, this one is like replacing Colette. I don't think it's the two. You are depending on a great deal of making sure that you've got that team wipe in place, you've got your charge, which takes a while to obtain place, and then obtaining all that additional damage. I mean, the additional balance changes have helped out Croaks a little bit by ensuring that daggers now return when they go through the walls, and that could be the thought process here just a little bit. Meg, I haven't seen Meg on Safe Zone in quite a while, but it plays well as the Piper. I can understand it for that reason, but I mean, it's going to allow the Colt to come forward, and that's the real damage dealer here.
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. Remember when I took 2 hours to talk about Nita's Bruce Bear? I feel like that's Meg's job here. And there she is! Okay!
Finally!
that was my thought as well! Colette just, and you know, you just kind of are a super bot here, but that's fine, dude. Again, objective-minded team composition. Just look towards the safe with Charlie as the last selection here. Definitely looking for kill one guy. That's what I'm getting out of Calabresos' composition. Whether you use the cocoon or not, you're looking to team shoot. You're looking to say, who are we looking at? Target Colt, and then Piper shoots, Firecrow jumps, Adinho hits, right? Like, I feel like that's the thought process, and it's up to Pekka to make sure that doesn't happen.
I just feel like they're picking Colette with the fear that it might be then on the other side of the field against going into the Meg, and you know, why not the Nanny? You know, that's a great role to play into that Piper on the other side of the field, and will play very much a decent role in that regard. I don't know, it's just a bit weird, but let's see whether, you know, every Mini Pekkas can make this work and whether Calabresos can connect with the same ready. Pekka on that right-hand side dealing tons of damage, Motor and already close to 50% already. I mean, that's in 20 seconds of play.
I mean, I was just going to exclaim how Hubi, like, just walked up and, you know, immediately got knocked out of the mech, but she created the space to allow Pekka and Motep to go to work. So you got just under 70% available or left on the blue safe, and Pekka actually gets the kill, opens up the door again. Here comes the super, tunneling damage, 45% left, and Mini Pekka's safe is safe and sound. Meg back in the mech. Mini Pekka won.
Working out so well. Lovely time gadget though. Adinho clears to the left hand side. Hubilier just left exposed. Now the damage can rain in. Kaido with 4 taps to the hand side. Has got hypercharge now, but needs to be able to clear up some space. Goes in, connects it, and that is what you want to see. Now the safe down to 60%. A bit of a cocoon into nowhere there, but nonetheless, the fence is there. It's a much closer up there, however, as we approach the 1 minute mark on the clock.
And very, very important answer back from Calabresos. Still on the downside, they still don't have the lead, but that's the answer back that you need to find. 58-45, as we said, Mini Pekka is still in the lead here, but a minute ago, that is a lifetime of heist. And a 3-on-2 with a nice kill here right quick. Coyote Dog half HP. Pekka and Meg both looking at him, and Adinho falls down as well. Colette hits the box, everybody else does. Round match, excuse me, game 1 going the way of these guys.
And you can just see the effectiveness of Colette there. Like the amount of times we saw her going in, getting the damage, the hypercharging itself is just absolutely just devastating. And when you consider on the other side of the field that you've got Crow at like a 35% win rate here, I just don't see why South America have picked it pretty much every single time we've seen Safe Zone today. It's a little bit baffling, and that's something we've not really seen in other regions, but I mean, I'm open to it if I can see it working, but I think it's very high risk in that regard. And again, Pekka immediately on that right-hand side, safe, connecting the damage, 11% already. It's those early moments that you want to have to start things off.
Important wall break right here. Pekka abused these barrels right on the right-hand side in game number 1, and so an important wall break coming out from the Piper. She did it as well last time around, but it was after Colt got a ton of damage onto the safe. So this time, preemptively knocking it out. Only 11% done so far. Motep does find the kill here. And so these guys, another Colette onto the safe. 68% left for Calabresos. Fire Crow getting some work here, but immediately falls down.
Yeah, Kaido's to be weak and weary in this left-hand side, quickly taken care of by Hublier without even mech. Now Colette goes yet again in, gets some damage for her time. Didn't quite get the value of the Gotcha gadget. Nonetheless, we'll probably have a couple more left to hand, has so on the side of Motep, so good stuff. But now Calabresos pushing themselves forwards a little bit, getting themselves in for a damaged position here. Fire immediately exposed there. Great silver bullet there from Pekka to be able to ensure it, and as quickly as that deflated the push that was going to be coming in. And now much needed damage on the side of Calabresos, and the set is in jeopardy.
That's the silver bullet also used last time around to break that same spot and also devastated Calabresos. So the gadget use out of Pekka, a huge deal here. I know he falls down, but I feel like he's done the work already. The teammates walk in, 1/3 left on the enemy safe. Colette comes in again, finds some damage. Hubi comes in again, finds some damage. And there's 11% left. Calabresos have to make a move here, and they basically have to win in 30 seconds. Otherwise, this 11% is going to stand tall.
Well, that's a better cocoon there from Medina, who's missed so many in this matchup so far, and it's going to create a little bit of space in the mid for Firecrow to push forwards with the hypercharge, and that's his play here, trying to clear up house. He can't leave Pekka uncontested here, so that's buying so much of his time. It's going to allow then the damage to continue onto the safe. Motep just going to keep buying some time, but there's so much time, so much ground to make up for here. On the side of Calabresos, it's not realistically going to happen here. They're going to make a little bit of an attempt for it. It's just not going to happen. The set will go the way then of FA Mini Packers.
Oh my goodness, Mini Packers coming through on top. Motep very happy about it, and that was pretty dominant. Is it all because of the Crow pick?
It's all because of the Colette pick.
There it is. And I mean, you're laughing, but I 100%, yes, I agree 100%. That Colette was able to find damage on the safe every time.
It blows my mind because it's not like, this is not like science. This is very standard stuff in Brawl and has been for years. Like, Colette has always been notoriously good in heist. And in maps like this, where you've got the lake situated where it is, being able to go in, get damage, but also get out and keep that mid control, I mean, it was great on Kaboom Canyon. It's great on Safe Zone. It's pretty much very little maps where she's not great. Hot potato, you name it. And it just feels like, this month, certainly in South America, they're really favoring Crow, trying out some new stuff. I don't necessarily think it's just purely because of that change to the hypercharge and the daggers being able to come back through the wall, but I mean, they're obviously just, they've always liked Crow, but it tended to be in this region more so seen in game modes like Hot Zone. It never really seemed to me to be a place to have in heist unless it was Kaboom Canyon. Nonetheless, I mean, 10 takedowns and 339 HP is a great scoreline for Firecrow there. Hublier on 13 with a meg, and that is substantial considering that her role is not really to bring back those kills, but again, this is heist. It's not necessarily what we see in our screens in terms of the takedowns and the DPS. Yes, that can all lead up to the objective, but it's all about the objective. Motep going in time and time again with that Colette. The lowest scoreline of the squad side for FA Mini Packers. He was that damage dealer on the safe, that hypercharge, everything just flowed very nicely. As we move on now into dueling Beetles for Hot Zone. I mean, this is a map where I can get behind Crow, and maybe not necessarily this better, but it was definitely where it was used in 2023 by South America here. Definitely a very unforgiving map. You want to have some sharpshooters down those lane sides, but also something tankier in the mid, preferably, or just a good idea to have with that turret providing so much utility. We see a lot of Griff breaking open those side lanes. We already saw as well Calabresos doing that very thing today and with the B. across the regions also. EMEA are doing a wondrous job with that same thing. It just creates so much space to allow things to happen. I think Pam being banned here very, very key, as those heals can be so hard to deal with when it comes to this map.
I love the bans out of the right side of the screen. I think Mini Pekkas really came to school here with their homework done. You know, Pam and Jesse have just been so dominant on dueling beetles here, and then the Bell, yeah, sure, like you said, sharpshooters could work, so get rid of the Bell. Maybe would have expected as a result of them banning the Bell, maybe I would have seen the Piper selection, but instead, well, I guess that's the nanny. I'm getting in my head. Anyway, Stu first selection overall here. They're looking to bring the momentum from set number 1 into set number 2, in my opinion.
I think Melody being banned is quite key as well. Haven't seen a single instance of her all day long, so we may not even see it at all in South America. We saw it a little bit yesterday, but perhaps it might scale through. Ruff's going to come in. It's an interesting idea. Can certainly break those little L pocket walls, so necessarily mind it. And Amber, it's a very underrated pick coming in for FA Mini Pekkas. Definitely Piper's a consideration. This is a bit of a tough one to consider because the Meg counter could be the response. So M's going to be a safe measure for Mini Pekkas in the eventuality that Calibration's bringing in a tank. They're picking Poku, they're picking Ruffs. This screams out something tanky. A Rosa mid with the grow light, gadgets to be able to build those bushes. And the Amber now might deter that little idea as well. But certainly, BB and others can be a real troublesome thing to deal with, and for that reason, Calibration is rethinking things possibly a little bit here because the M's pick, it's gonna be a tough one to deal with now.
Completely agree. I really like the M's and the Amber combo here. Either you can M's into the bushes or you can Amber the bushes down, right? You have kind of both selections here. B is going to be the last pick for Calabresos, and we saw B played last time around and was pretty strong. But I need to note that one of the reasons that she was strong was because of the big wall break that we saw from the enemy team. So it was sort of like, we picked the B because you're going to break the wall, so, thank you for playing into my hand, haha. It feels like this is a different approach with the B this time.
Yeah, I feel like at the moment, Calibrators may have had to change their comp when that M showed its face. It might have been the original plan already, though. That's a very quick takedown from Medina on the left-hand side. I think that B's always been a South American pick. I love it. It's certainly good in most hot zones to be able to ensure these swift kills. That's what we're seeing play out in front of our very eyes. With Amber, I think it's going to work out pretty well. I wouldn't mind seeing him with the so far. It's so good to call Calibrators.
Here in the mid on the M's, trying to make it work, and honestly keeps finding a couple of moments, but Firecrow's B play has been really fantastic. Can't deal with the 2v1 though, and so does fall down. A large lead built for Calabresos in the early game, but Mini Pekkas seem to have the advantage at the moment. Mid control certainly in their direction. Some wall broken open here for B to work with on the right-hand side now.
Ooh, that's a nice tap there from Firecrow. The amplified shot really doing its work, and they got the ability to swap lanes if they need to as well. They might even do it now. Yeah, Firecrow thinking, I want more space. Let's go to the left-hand side. Almost found Pekka there as well. Now up on the step, had the shield a little bit longer, gets the as well. That was the objective though. It's very now on the mid.
Adinho moving to the right-hand side, bringing the sandbags versus the Stu, and also the cute little Orchestre. Certainly what you're looking for out of Ruffs. Ruffs is often looked at as a utility character amplifying his teammates, but Adinho has been getting a number of these kills and really showing the other side of Colonel Ruffs and why he's a well-rounded character and not a utility pick. And boding well here for Calabresos. They find themselves trending upwards at 80%, and another kill on the Motep really opens the door. That should be it, Arc. A beautiful play. Then Mini Pekkas have to go all in to stop.
Yeah, as I found out yesterday in EMEA, it can still be done in those moments where it's just a couple of percent, but nicely sealed off there, giving no second chances. And that is certainly the wise way to play it. I think that, honestly, I think Mini Pekkas might struggle a little bit with what Calibrations are cooking here. I think the B is working out really, really nicely. Again, fantastic pickups with the Amber, with the M's. It's going to work out really nice. It's an underrated thing. And you can just see how much value Kyogre's able to achieve on this map as well now, and I think the range disadvantage might be going against here, Mini Peckers. Let's see how they respond though. Early speed zone down from Hublier, trying to get something onto Adino, but this sandbag can be very troublesome. He needs to whistle those down over time.
Adino nailing these ricochet shots as well. Fire Crow getting them obviously just on the mark. Another tap going the way. Can't finish the kill on a Motep, but it does shove Motep off of the point for now. Kyodog here, sitting pretty. And Pekka on the right-hand side. This is dashing forward from Stu. Big aggression from Mini Peckers, and that owns them. It gives them, it earns them the zone.
Yeah, tough spot there. Firecrow was considering to go for the amplified shot on the Hublier, but ultimately it's a tough thing to land. We've got to Stu with the speed boost to hand, but objective power for Mini Peckers. They're pretty 50% now. Much better than the previous game. That takedown of Kyogre allows that 2 versus 1 to really take its hold, forcing Firecrow back, now having to force him out to heal as well, buying even more time. Pekka coming in with super, that could work out nicely as well if he doesn't get tapped up by Adino. Looking better. Mini Peckers might get this game.
I think they might too. 80% and trending upwards for Mini Peckers this time around. We saw one of the cool things there with Poco, how Stu can't really dodge it because it's such a wide shotgun blast. And just like that, forced into the back dodge, and Firecrow's able to finish him off. But Motep standing on the point, and a nice attempt there coming out from the blue side, but Calabraisos couldn't bring it home. And Motep and the boys find themselves again with a W. Man, we got a grand finals here, Ark.
For ourselves a match, for sure. And I think the adaptation was quite nice, allowing the Stu to get a bit more aggressive with Kyogre and really be up in their face, forcing then Firecrow towards those back lines and keeping him low for the majority of the time as well. I think was quite a smart play on their side of things. Let's see though, these sandbags are quite key, these early interactions between Adino and Hublier. Let's see if they can get that early supply drop over to Firecrow to allow him to tap.
Here comes Cowdog just stepping forward. The call was made, and the aggression does come out here. And so Motep and Mini Pekka's going to be able to step forward. A 20% lead and counting for the red team. Cowdog and Adino on the left-hand side trying to push forward, but Firecrow stuck in the backside. Adino does get 1 kill to open things up. Cowdog has the super, so can heal. But waiting it out, and I like that call. There was space, so they could wait it out.
Kyogre has got super, and you know what that can do with Screeching Solo. Kyogre finds Pekka as well, and that's much better. Nothing that Hublier can do at the moment. Just gonna wait for his team to come back in. The speeds will ensure that they get fast to the objective, but I mean, those heals just hand themselves over to Adino and Firecrow, keep them in the mix, giving them the question there, connecting onto Pekka as well, and then the follow-up, it's that 2 versus 3 story yet again. Healing time still needed for Pekka, and time is dripping away here in the Calabraisos, prime position to be able to take this set.
Ooh, prime position, but Cowdog's by himself, and this is a prime position for Hubi, as his teammate takes down 1. Hubi's here looking for Firecrow, dodges the bee nonsense, and trying to find the kill on the right-hand side. 91% for the blue team, but Mini Pekkas have their heels stuck in the mud. They're almost halfway there. Check that. They are halfway there.
It's the 9% now, and this is going to be a testament to see how Mini Pekkas can hold themselves firm here. No connection from Firecrow on the slow. Let's see. Kyogre pushes his way forwards, gets a heal, and maybe buys some more time, but oh, it's going to be close. The HP is dwindling down here, but Pekka is standing strong. But now, the last man standing. It's going to be very tough here. He's going to try his best. Not going to be quite enough now, and it should be Calabraisos that gain themselves a set in this series.
And there it is. Laugh your way to the bank, my man, but this is a close one. I think Cowdog and the guys have to kind of go, yep, we got it, move on, next, still think, right? Again, Mini Pekkas have some competition here, able to deal it. Like, I said before, man, we got a grand finals, and we have a grand finals. Tied 1-1. This one goes 3 as well. And as we move on to Bell's Rock, you know, knockout can be even more punishing. So, oh man, what's your takeaway from this last one?
I think, you know, credit to Calabraisos because to have to reset their mental off the first set. I mean, that's what you get from experienced teams. They don't dwindle, they don't dwell on the past. They just get quickly stuck in to what is. And it was a much better draft, in my opinion. They kind of really thought through the strategy. They obviously made potentially an adaptation along the way because the Poco was a little bit out of place. They were definitely brewing up some kind of tank. And the B made a lot of sense, you know. I mean, often we see that kind of grift be that map opener. That was the role of Adinho on that Ruffs pick in that regard. And he was able to obtain super so quickly every single game. And you do really need that. You need that early break. It provides you so much space to maneuver to allow, you know, Firecracker to go in and tap on that B pick. And I think that was the play to make. I think that adaptation may not have been the plan from the get-go, but it certainly was the plan that when they adapted to it, they made it work, and that's what counts.
Got to agree there. Those adaptations, that's esports is about adaptations, right? And so that's what we see there. Fantastic stuff. Motep and the guys, again, you know, sometimes you start to feel in this set number 3, you start to feel like, well, all right, let's finish it out. We know who's not the case this time around, man. You know, I think Calabresos look great and are making some mistakes. I think Mini Pekkas look great and are making some mistakes. Mini Pekkas, I mean, obviously both teams want to win. Calabresos won the last time around. If Pekkas wins this one, the man himself, if a team wins, this will be number 11 monthly final wins for him. So certainly what he's looking for individually. But these teams coming out here and trying to play. Calabresos, by the way, shout out to our orgs out there. Both of these teams, free agents, looking for representation. This is the grand finals. So you certainly know that they've got the talent to back it up. And straight up, the entertainment value is there. I am having a gas right now, Ark. I am really enjoying this grand finals.
Absolutely so. And like you say, there's so much on the line here. The points, of course, make all the difference between LCQ and Worlds, or maybe not even getting towards those stages at all. You've got to be able to make sure these early months count, and that's exactly what both sides are trying to achieve here. Certainly, for FA Mini Pekkas being a little bit more behind in that regard, there's that to consider. Certainly as well for Pekka, a huge achievement if he can make it that 11th monthly finals win. And of course, the prize money goes a very, very long way. It incentivizes everyone to be at their best and stay at the top. For both sides, you know, like I said, very close affair for Calabresos. That first set went away from them very, very quickly. The Colt on that save just really went to town. And then going into the second set, it looked like a different Calabresos, a more refreshed, more refined Calabresos, kind of more what we'd expect to have seen from them earlier today and did. So going into Bell's Rock now, a chance for either of these two teams to gain that little bit more of an advantage and get ever so close towards that third set.
Well, coming off here, as we mentioned, you know, before, this is a map where throwers can work out for sure. And so I expect to see the Larry and Laurie ban. We have seen 0 Melody, 0 LNL as a result of the bans here today. I think very, very important bans for sure. I also want to see the kit ban because this is certainly knockout. Changes the rules. Kit excels with her rule changes as well, and so I want to see a kit ban. Melody is just really powerful. There's nothing specific that she does here on knock. I guess the dash really kind of goes with my like respawn commentary, but we see the Angelo bans and they're all right. She's just that strong, boys. So not banned, picked first overall, and that just goes to show you how strong she is.
Wow, what a time to show its face as well. And I think you raised a valid point with the kit. I mean, that is a really troublesome thing when combined with the melody. I wonder whether they'll try for that idea. Artie, of course, now with the change of the gadget now from inline to out of line, I think it's a really nice touch. Gives a bit more flexibility around that brawler. Not so devastating when you're in leg form to be able to continue on, especially in a game mode like Knockout. It was always very susceptible in this mode specifically. Now with the Piper coming in as well for Calabresos, really like it, but troublesome, you know, when you get, you know, those brawlers that get right up in your face like the melody. Yeah. So they're taking that chance, they're taking that risk. We're going to come. It can definitely work. It's a tough map to find some of the angles to get some of those early connections. However, with that L-shaped wall, you know, if you get the brawler to step right into that corner pocket, it's kind of hard to find the angle, regardless of it being Rico. But we shall see whether that is a factor at all for FA Mini Pekkas, considering their third and final pick. Rob's still available here, and you're like absolutely perfectly right in saying that throwers are strong here. They are also susceptible in this stage of the draft to accounts coming in from Calabraces, and that's the concern. Miko being that big prime target to be able to do so. So I think there's a bit of a consideration there. Leon coming in. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of it earlier, but I'm okay with seeing it here. It's just a question of whether it's maybe drifted away from the meta as Brock coming in to be able to counteract it. I wouldn't have minded seeing a tick actually, to be honest, but it was banned out by many Packers probably for that reason of that Leon. The lollipop drop's very susceptible to that tick, so I think a smart banning process by them. But Brock, you know, the hypercharge is not the most flashy. It's not the well, it's definitely the most flashy. It doesn't take the most damage in the process, and that's the issue there. I was kind of worried for FA Mini Packers. The question mark here in this draft for me is, you know, has Leon dropped off somewhat?
I mean, we'll certainly see. I do think Calabrasos, though, just their entire comp is a response to the Melody selection, right? Melody wants to be up close and personal on you, and you got 2 sharpshooters and RT to prevent Melody from getting on you, right? RT, as long as he's got the super, able to just Melody down and punish her for dashing into you. So I like the response from Calabrasos. The goal is to win before the gas, almost certainly. You got to keep everybody at a distance if you want to find this victory for Calabrasos.
Yeah, this wall break from Firecrow is giving Motep problems straight off the bat. That's the issue when you're picking it in that stage of the draft as well. You know, if the wall break comes in, your kind of strategy and your power of that Rico just goes out the window. Yeah. And now nice touch from Medino, follow-ups as well from all 3 members of Calabrasos. What great synergy to see to ensure that takedown.
That's what I was just about to mention, team shooting. Just like pick a guy and shoot him. You've got these 3 sharpshooters, just pick a guy. And so right now we see the 3-on-2. That said, Melody and Leon can punish these long-range brawlers if they get in there. Melody does that just like that. We've got the 2-on-2. Adinho trying to deal. Leon comes out of the invisibility, and Adinho can't make it happen. And like I said, you gotta win before the gas.
And you got to respect that play from Pack. It didn't go too aggressive with that Melody pick, knowing the RT could cause a great amount of damage at close range. Just took his time with it. Really focused on the Brock first and stuffed the whittle down the whole house of cards on the side of Calabrasos there. A nice solid round win on the board there. FA Mini Packers. Let's see the response. Firecrow now, the hypercharge. Can't find Hubalier. Is already out of that lollipop drop. Mate, nowhere to be seen. Going for Adinu and finds the kill. Follow-up shots are not going to do much now. It's a 2 versus 1. It's going to be the concern now. 1v1, but I'm sure Pekka will seal it, and he does.
Man, I love, you said House of Cards. This composition is fragile. Like, this is such a fragile composition, man. You need to win from a distance. You need to win before the gas. You need to win by finding those right, by having strong target prioritization. And we saw that happen with that first kill, and then Mini Pekkas just sat back, waited for their time, and then they arrived. And so Calabrasos, fragile. They've got to find this victory earlier if they want to win this next set.
I really like the Brock response in the draft.
Same.
I feel like letting Melody be open might have been the nail in the coffin at the beginning. You can't give someone like Pekka that brawler. I mean, he's a really up close and personal, aggressive player by nature.
It's got to be intentional.
And certainly, yeah, I don't know. I think it might have been something which they weren't considering. And there's the takedown from Adinho to Pekka. As I'm speaking about that very person, overextended somewhat there a little bit now. Hubler's got to go uber on the aggressive with the help of Motep. They've separated a little bit from Kaidog into the mix. Motep low, though, has to be able to escape away, and that's just going to fall. A 3 versus 1. Hubler can only survive for so long.
See, right there. They're able to win, but early on. They do kind of have to find an okie doke in order to, like, just an oops, you died type moment in order to push this forward. But if they do, Calabrasos are certainly driving the truck. You got to keep yourself from a distance. You know, that is the main jam of this composition, and just barely missing there for Cowdog as Melody's able to find protection. But look at them pushing forward, Arc, shoving Mini Pekkas into the locker.
There's a lovely shot from Kaidog there, but Pekka didn't fall from it. The homemade recipe was there. Look at this creeping up from Hubalier. Kaidog's thumbs were quick on the spot. Oh my word! And what an amazing lollipop drop that really was to ensure the Piper shot didn't connect with him. Now, the 3 versus 2 scenario can Calabrese do anything about this? No, but I mean, Viper's going to try for it. I respect it, but now it's the gas. I kind of feel like that's the wise decision, trying to get some utility along the way. The rounds all tied up for the taking, but if Mini Peckers get this next one, they'll get the set.
Definitely on the edge of their seats. I'm not specifying which team because I think both teams are on the edge of their seats. Hubi falls down, an early kill for Cow Dog. Now the 2-on-2. Fire Grenadino, still long range brawlers. Motep a long range and Melody a short range. And so, still kind of in Calabrese's favor. IMO.
I think though, as long as the time ticks down, then Pekka's gonna be much stronger in this late game process. It's down ready to fire, going to try to find those connections onto Motep, making weak and weary. That's one already. Pekka now amplified up by those RT shots as well, making him more susceptible. It's not just ticking down the clock and being in position, but Motep is vastly in position as I speak. Shooting for Pekka. 1, 2, can he find a Dino? The legs are down. It's gotta be a kill surely here. But look at the takiness of those legs, staying firm, body blocking himself along the way. Will Pekka be able to find this kill in time, because the Dino is now healing up in the process? It's a bit of a stalemate. Will he trip himself up here? Will Pekka stay on top? And now a shield. There's the new gadget outline coming into play. Pekka, will he get it? Finally he does. And he puts everybody Pekka's now 2 sets to 1.
What a duel there between the RT and the Melody. I think the RT is a fantastic way to deal with the Melody, and Melody just outplayed it, man. That was just excellent. You noted the gadget use, that was just strong play out of the Melody. I think that was again, counter is a big word, but RT plays into Melody well because of the legs. You've got the body block, you've got the you just are able to deal with Melody with that pick, and she was like, I don't care. And I like the way it played out.
You've got to be so cautious when dealing with that, you know. I'm pointing out prior to that with Pekka, very, very good on the observation side of how to play against that RT. And you know, Melody's so much fun. She's such an aggressive brawler. It's very easy to just kind of go in and spam his shots and not play it methodically. Pekka is not that guy. You know, that was a really nice display. It looked like it could have been one of those choke moments potentially there as well. And you don't want to do that, not in this stage of the competition. Certainly so. And I think that just playing it cautious, playing it safe, and just ensuring that set was the play for him. Great stuff.
And you know, it's funny because last time around we were talking about a team that kind of like outsmarted themselves in the draft a little bit, and I think that's what happened here with Calabresos. There's always the chance that they just forgot to ban Melody, right? But like, I'm throwing that out. I think they intentionally left Melody up because they intentionally planned on picking RT and 2 sharpshooters. Then they went with the Brock for the wall break to deal with the Rico. I think this was by design. I think Calabresos was happy going into this with the draft that that they got, because they were like, we're gonna goad them, we're gonna bait them into picking Melody, and then we have the answer. And whether or not this is the answer, I'll be honest, I'm not convinced that it's not with the loss, but Mini Pekka's, first of all, they got the Melody, and then they outplayed. The DPS doesn't matter. Look how much lower damage per second we saw out of Mini Pekka's arc, but they were the ones that got the kills when it mattered.
Well, put it this way, if it was their plan, it was a terrible plan. I mean, it really wasn't the best of ideas whatsoever. It's just a map that's designed realistically for Melody to be able to push away forwards, use the coverage there as well. Even if you break the side, she's still got the other side to be able to work with the indestructible wolves. I mean, you know, with every single game we see it banned for good reason. She's still in such a great spot, and you know, despite a little bit of a trickle of a nerf here and there to her, the shielding, of course, being the prime target of that with that gadget interlude, you know, taking that shield per note decreased down from 15% to 10, it's still very, very strong, and Pekka utilized it perfectly towards the end of that matchup to ensure his survivability on a map where survivability is key. I mean, I want to see Calabresos learn from that, regardless of what they were thinking when it came down to that brawler pick, and just eradicate it. It's just one that's too strong and too aggressive at this stage in the competition for sure. Rustic Arcade, Gem up now, bans are in. Melody is banned out straight away on the right-hand side. There's Stu first pick by Calabresos. The bans being Ruffs, Piper, and Max. Melody, Angelo, and the Otis. An interesting one. Possibly a strategy performing there. Leon first pick as well. 8-bit to follow up. Okay. The 8-bit can work massively so, but Leon's just a I'm still kind of on the fence with, to be honest. There's a couple of other brawlers I'd like to see first. Stu in this region always going to do well.
Yeah, and the stew is where I'm looking at, not just in this region, but on this player. Cow Dog coming out with the stew. I mean, you can run the tape back, and I'm sure people are going to be annoyed at how much I was gassing up Cow Dog. Like, it felt like he won the game with the stew play. And so here we'll see if he can repeat it. Firecrow on the bell, so different already from how it went game one when I was talking about it before. But I like this approach from the stew. You just kind of trust the hot hand here, and you combine it with a Charlie and a bell to, you know, help out from long range. I say long range. I know Charlie just got her range kind of nerfed a little bit. Unconcerned. Across the way, though, the Leon and the 8-bit, though, not a slouch of a composition. 8-bit does a ton of damage, and with those indestructible walls, being able to put down the damage turret, certainly a look. And then, well, with those indestructible walls, being able to put down the not where you want to put the turret behind, but Jessie has been powerful in other regions, Arc, and I haven't really seen her perform here in South America just yet.
I mean, the bell's going to play nicely into all these turrets. I mean, the lollipop drop, the damage booster of 8-bit, and the Jessie turret. So, I mean, I think mini pickers are really committing themselves to this. There's no doubt in my mind about it. The Leon pick I can sway towards a little bit if it's Hubelier on it, because he played it so well in the previous set. I'm all for it. He really, really did shine on that Leon pick. But Charlie is going to work well into the Leon as well. You know, when that invisibility is there, as soon as you're going for it, if you've got Cocoon, you're instantly just eradicated out of the mix. And the spiders as well. There's a lot of current. Firecrow tapping straight off the bat, and there we go. Immediately the lollipop drop goes down. Firecrow with 3 gems in the middle. That's the power of Bell.
Man, Motep just getting shot. Firecrow landing those hits, very impressive. Right side of Dino trying to deal with Hubi, drops the spider to do so, and Firecrow winds up getting Motep in the mid. I was looking at the Leon matchup, and Adino finished it off, and then I just see Firecrow able to get these kills. 6-0 so far, Arc.
Yeah, the 8-bit's a very slow-moving target as well. When it places down the turret, you know, just ricocheting those shots is going to work wondrously well. Kaidos will be a little bit cautious here. Hubelier is invisible now. The nest egg, though, will he find it? He does. Immediately exposed, and what a great placement again from Firecrow. Hypercharge, he's just popping off so much for his team at the moment.
Firecrow doing all the work. Fantastic stuff. Even forcing the TP out of the 8-bit, who does respond by taking down Kyle Dog, but Hubi falls down. Adino outranging Motep. So Mini Pekkas finally get some mid control, get themselves on the board. 4 in the pocket. The 5th one should be theirs as well. But Calabresos here looking to resurge. Right now they're just taking a breather. Leon shoves forward, shoved out. Calabresos now should be able to move forward.
The pack is really struggling as well. If you can get a turret down, it's going to be tough for the Stew and also the Bell to really get it taken down swiftly. Sure, the shots will ricochet from it, but ultimately it's not really getting the value that he needs to obtain for his team. And already a countdown for Calabresos and a swift takedown of Hubelier, and he's the perfect person to be able to reset this countdown in itself. Great mark from Firecrow again. Adino is that player that could reset things, so he's going to be a little bit cautious now with the gems split between himself and Kaidog. A smart play, no time for the response. That's the way to start off gem grab for Calabresos.
Really, really strong stuff out of Calabresos. They had control for 6 gems, 5+ gems before Mini Pekkas was even allowed to step forward. And what I love about this team is, again, earlier today, I was just gassing up Kyle Dog, talking about how he was really just making everything happen. This time around, I think it was Firecrow. I think this Bell selection
undoubtedly
just made that game Calabresos' favorite, landing all these shots, man. Like, what a great performance from Firecrow, but more importantly, Arc, what a great team performance to be able to hand off the ball, so to speak, between who's going to be the spotlight player.
I mean, I fully agree, and to be honest, in terms of skill, this 2 sides are so evenly matched. I mean, there's a reason why Firecrow was teammates previously with Motep and Pekka, right? I mean, it's just simply a lot coming down to draft.
There it is.
I mean, this Bell just works so well into everything, but it's got to have the taps to land, and that's what Firecrow is doing. Missed the super there a little bit, no connection there with the mark, but nonetheless, he's suppressing everything. Taps from Motep, though, going to replace the turret there and combine it there with the lollipop drop for good measure. Kaidog is just aggressing this top right-hand side, has been the whole game. Now the Cocoon comes in, Motep just escapes there by the skin of his teeth there with the cheat card gadget for safety. 8 gems to 2, it's still all Calabresos.
Cow Dog, when he was up there on the right side, like you were mentioning, it just kept Leon out of the game. And then as soon as we see Stu leave, Leon comes through, but it doesn't matter because the comm was called. Firecrow and Adinho pay attention. Boom, knock him down. I see the communication in the gameplay. So exciting. 9-4 with Mini Pekkas having a little bit of this mid control. So Mini Pekkas trying to fight their way back into it. By the way, they lead 2-1 big picture. So if Calabresos do take this game, we go to a set 5, and they're going to start the countdown.
Well, Pekka is marked up as well, has the hypercharge, but no super to hand yet. That's a nice tap from Firecrow. We'll get the shielding as well. Everyone's follow-up from him. Damage boosted down. Oh, Pekka goes down immediately on the left-hand side. There's cleared up so much space. Gems are dropped. Reset, though. That'll buy valuable time for Mini Pekkas, but they're going to get this gems from the mid as well. I don't know whether there's enough time to get all of them, so it's still going to be a Dino or Kaido for the takedown.
Troublesome. 6 seconds. And Mini Pekkas coalescing into this left-hand side. Adinho is 3. Cow Dog says, I don't care that I'm holding the gems. I'm taking you down. But they do get the kill on the bottom side. Dangerous for Cow Dog. He's got to keep dodging and weaving. And he does. Oh my God, I can't believe he pulled that off. 9 gems in the pocket here for Calabresos.
The Kaido's going on vacation. I mean, he's running around the entire map, but came back around with all the gems now. The cocoon from Ladino will buy themselves a lot of time. Moto pushing forwards now. Packer coming from the left-hand side. There is still potential here for a reset, but it's going to be Moto, and just Moto alone cannot be enough. Kaido safe and sound. Calabresos get the game and the set.
Oh my goodness. Cow Dog and the squad bring us to a set 5. This is a grand finals, man. Again, Firecrow started this off just saying like, all right, I got these taps. I'm going to hit these long range shots. And then at the end of it, things started to go awry. They weren't able to keep that distance that they needed. And KD just was like, all right, my turn. And then just took control of the game. Against many other squads, many other players, many other choices, that kill on the backside and looking at Stu walk up the field like that winds up being the end of the game. The player dies on the enemy side, and then there's the gems, and then it goes to Mini Pekkas. This was Cow Dog just saying, like, don't forget who I am, man. Don't forget who I am, man. Fantastic play. I'm going nuts. That was cool.
Yeah, the beginning of the sort of set, it was all Firecrow. You know, that second game, though, he started to slow down a bit, started to run some troubles with Pekka on the left-hand side lane and not able to connect the shots that followed off of the hypercharge. Look at this, though, as well. A tough spot here for Firecrow. Pekka had to try to get a DD first to allow a potential for a takedown, but Kaido just running himself around the map, just keeping that aggressiveness, keeping everyone low, and that's just ensuring themselves to win, coming back with the gems. I mean, a wonderful game from him. Pekka on the other side of things. 0 kills. I mean, I always talk about stats not necessarily reflecting the action, but I mean, you kind of need to ensure that you're bringing in something a bit more in the DPS, a bit more in terms of kills to ensure there's hypercharges on that turret, because that's really the best that Jesse can bring to the table.
Yeah, the idea sorta got it, but it just it didn't work out. The turret, I don't know, man. I mean, Firecrow and Cow Dog here, and again, Adinho still did the job. In no way am I throwing shade at Adinho, but just Firecrow ran the early game and Cow Dog brought it home. This is what you want to see out of your squad. Like, you want to see dynamic play like this. You want to see the ability to share that responsibility. I always say feed the hot hand, and sometimes that means just like, you know, give it to the one guy in your team. Well, the beauty of this Calabresos roster is that it's not just Cow Dog. He can just lean on Firecrow to play the bell from a distance. And that's exactly what we saw here. Tied too large as we jump into our 5th set for our South American Grand Finals here at the BSC, powered by the Snapdragon Pro Series. Man, this has been a barn burner. And fun to watch, because I don't think that there is, this is a one set match now, Arc. I don't think what happened before matters. I think you come in here and both of these teams, we were talking about an upset. Am I crazy for saying now we're in set 5, this is just an even matchup?
Oh, it has been from the beginning. It's straight down the line 50-50. The skill of both sides is absolutely even when it comes down to all these drafts. Every single time it has been the case where a team that has lost a set hasn't really nailed that very thing. And that's what makes this very much me on the edge of my seat now, because it could come down to just simply that one draft in this set now. And, you know, if either side slip up, then it could go the other way. And for mini Packers, I think they've got to be, you know, a bit cautious on how much they value that Leon pick. It worked very nicely in Bell's Rock, not the same there in Rustic Arcade. Calabrasos, so they've got the momentum building up within themselves. You can see it with Kaidog now. There's getting a bit more excitement within his eyes, and if they just nail this draft, get something which they'd like to have under their thumbs, maybe the max pick could do wonders for them as well. Let's see when they get into the draft how this whole thing will go down. But one thing's for sure, a lot is riding on this draft. Brawl Ball as well. My word, Sandy better be banned. I'm looking for Charlie to be banned potentially here as well. Melody, you know, it's a good map for her, but the notes will shine through the bush as well. So that's going to be a consideration. But I mean, certainly Shelly, you know, that's a brawler that can have a great time on this map. And there's a bit of an insurance policy for some of those tanker ideas that might come in to the mix. But so much opportunity on this map and a great amount of brawlers available in this draft.
Oh man, it all comes down to this. I almost want to like just take a breather. I want to see, give me the bans and like let's chill, because it's going to be insane as we jump into Brawl Ball center stage. You know, when I look at center stage, I suppose that I'm immediately, you know, thinking of sort of Brawl Ball classic picks. Shelly is coming out here, and that will, I suppose, influence some things. Look at the bans though. There's no Nita ban, there's no Cord ban. Even Willow is up, which is an oddball pick, but certainly has her moments.
Love that from many Packers, honestly. First pick Shelly. I mean, that's normally the case in the other regions where, you know, if you don't have that coin toss, ban Shelly. You know, it just allows you to have options later on. I don't mind the hypercharge Benita at all. I think that it's in a pretty decent place, but I mean, it's very early stage in the draft to value her this highly. Charlie, though, I like that combination. But why no max? I mean, I think that that's something that I would have probably chosen that moment to use and really get up and close and personal in the face of the Shelly and just eradicate her from the mix. Now back over to mini Packers. Let's see how they respond.
Well, so Jesse's a large pick, smart pick here, because it kind of like gets rid of all of the ability to hide. I don't know if you want to jump in versus this other stuff. Buster coming out with the montage is interesting. I mean, the thing is that as Nita's walking down the field, the montage isn't really going to stop that, because Bruce is just up front. And the Jackie selection, obviously Jackie can make use of all of the bushes and stuff, and Calabrasos don't have much by way of wall break here. And so the M's will be used to kind of flush players out of the shade of the grass. And a smart look here from Calabrasos, I think. Overall, what's your grade as far as the draft is concerned on both sides?
Bit of a risky one for Calabrasos, because if the Jackie really gets in the face of that M's, the M's are pretty squidgy, and like, you know, as long as the side of Calabrasos can just keep her under control, they haven't got anything to break the bush, and that's all in the power of FA mini Packers in that regard. So they can choose to break, they can choose to leave it. I think the side can do quite a good job of seeking to find out where people will lurk, but you only get so many gadgets in this game, and I think that with the Shelly, with the Jackie, the aggression here is all with FA mini Packers, and they can just bide their time, stay with the Buster, get that shielding coming into play. It's going to be very tough, but I think Calabrasos can still do it. It's not a bad comp. It's a question of whether it's a winning comp.
I like this play out of the Buster. I was just about to bring this up. They get aggressive. Everyone dies. And Cow Dog is left walking the ball up mid.
I mean, could he got a shot off there? Maybe from the angle. It's a tough one to say, but nonetheless, going and getting more damage. Coutinho there found the ball. Might not have wanted to. It was a bit hidden for a while there, but I think it should be a defense, and now the ball pushed forwards. But that was very touch and go.
Yeah. What I was going to say about the Buster is that, like, while I mentioned it would be tough against Anita, not going forward, only going backwards. And so Kyle Dog's able to open up the door, score one, as Calabrasos gets aggressive. And that's what I mean by going backwards. I think Buster on this mini Pekka's team is stronger when they're on the offensive. But when they're falling back, Calabrasos can kind of take care of it. And that's exactly what we saw. Jackie, though, is that safety valve. So if Calabrasos take care of Jackie, I think they have an easier time pushing forward.
Nice catch. Oh, no, misplaced. Oh, a terrible fumble. Dino walks it in. You can see it coming a while away. You shouldn't really allow that to happen. Nonetheless, that is the goal. That is the game. Oh, my word. FA Mini Pickers going to be kicking themselves after that.
One away, one away. I mean, yeah, like you said it. You just can't let that happen. You can't let that happen. And Minipek is now changing their tune here, or at least trying to. Shelly getting chased out here by Firecrow. The spiders come up. Curious choice. Here comes Buster, and that's going to be the push forward from Mini Pekkas. And they get one on the left-hand side. Firecrow versus Motep goes the way of Firecrow, so it's a 2-on-2. Hoobie passes forward to deal with Cowdog's ammo. And the ball just castles here on the left-hand side. Cowdog again winds up on the good side. She's squishy, like you said. She also deals that damage. And so staying alive with a hair of HP while taking the opponent down. One player to play defense, and Calabresos have the ball.
Cowdog's playing the great M's, honestly. I mean, this kind of lives and dies with how well that particular brawler can perform, and the Jackie with the bust, there's a lot here that can really get in your face and be a threat. Oh, great cocoon from Firecrow, and a simple pass through potentially here, but Motep intercepts and buys valuable time for his team. But it's a 3 versus 1. Does Humili have a gadget? He has, but it doesn't even matter. Adelia will secure it. That's another goal on the board, and Calabresos are close, so close for a monthly final win here.
Calabresos 1 goal away from getting back-to-back monthly final wins. The spiders come out. That's a perfect usage of the spiders, and an also perfect disengagement from Mini Pekkas. Bruce chasing Hoobie to the right-hand side, but it doesn't matter. The ball's safely on the left. Adinho opens up the door. Hoobie's barely alive. If they find this kill quickly, they'll have a scoring opportunity, but they don't. And the respawn is live, and it's 3v3 again. No, another kill.
Pressure now mounting. What if Mini Pekkas? Oh, Dino was thinking about it for sure. I don't blame him for it whatsoever. But now the ball being pocketed now. Firecrow's got the cocoon. Doesn't find the connection. Hypercharge still available. They've got all the time in the world. They can just leave this ball castled in that top right-hand side and protect it. They've got the lead. It's FA Mini Pekkas. They've got to make the play.
Hoobie shows up and drops out the montage, but Firecrow doesn't care. Pekka's still alive, and just like that, Calabresos get the kills. They're not going to be able to score, but they have the time on their side. Mini Pekkas has to go all the way in and get a kill and a goal to bring us to OT. They're able to get 1 kill, but they can't find anything else. And Calabresos, 2 months in a row, are the victors of South America.
An awesome way for them to end the day. It really did come to that final drop for me. So close, neck and neck, all the way in terms of their skill sets. But the drafts were where it came down. It was a riskier one in my opinion, but they played it perfect.